What's up everyone, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video, and today we are talking about Dragalge. Now, Dragalge is a really interesting Pokemon, mostly due to its ability adaptability that gives it 2 times stab instead of 1.5 times stab, which is very, very good. When you hit a super effective stab move into something, you're hitting 4 times damage, which is absolutely ridiculous. Stab being 2 times, and then weakness being 2 times as well. So you're able to hit things like Togekiss for super effective 4 times damage with stab, which is absolutely insane. And it's not actually 4 times, but it's, pretty much. I mean, it's 2 times for stab and then 2 times for weakness. It's 4 times, which is crazy. And then you also have Pokemon like Dragapult that you can hit, Rillaboom that you can hit for this absurd amount of damage. So this Pokemon really is a great offensive threat in the format that we're currently playing in, which is good. Why would that not be good? It's very strong. The ability is great. Its stats are pretty solid. Its typing is pretty solid. Let's talk about it. So Poison Dragon, 4 weaknesses, but also 7 resistances, which is pretty solid. It's good to have some weaknesses, though, because of weakness policy, and the Pokemon's not awful in bulk, especially as far as special defense goes. We have pretty solid bulk in general, and just great stats in general, for this Pokemon. So HP at 65 isn't great, but, with investment plus Dynamax, we do, we're pretty capable. And then we have defense at 90, which is also pretty solid, and then special defense at 123, which is very, very good. We're not really that worried about, earth powers from things like, Venusaurs or Torkoals or anything. We're just not that worried. Lapras, okay, that's fine. Duraludon, whatever. Psyspam, whatever. It's not a huge deal. So, special defense is great. As far as offense goes, we do hit a pretty mediocre number, but we patch that up with adaptability and weakness policy. So our special attack is 97, which is not amazing, but like I said, weakness policy, doubling that is pretty good. Stab, going to 2, doubling that, it's pretty good. Speed at 44 is really low and sounds like it sucks, but it does scream Trick Room, and that's what we're going to be pairing it with. Dusclops Trick Room is the name of the game. We use Dusclops Trick Room turn 1, and then turn 2 we go Bulldoze, proc our own weakness policy, and start killing everything. That's kind of the plan with this guy. Anyway, let's move on. So, that is Dragalge. That is the overview. Let's look at the VGC set. So, as far as VGC goes, we are running adaptability as the ability. It is by far its best ability. It is the main reason it's so good. Poison Point and Poison Touch both suck compared to that. And they both kind of suck in general, too. So, adaptability is the way of the game. That's what you do. So, we are using the item weakness policy as well. Like I said, the main strat for this Pokemon is or Dusclops, setting Trick Room, and then next turn going for the weakness policy proc with Bulldoze, lowering your speed, making Dragalge a super, super dragon and poison type Pokemon. Really good stuff. You don't have to use weakness policy, but like I said, it is the main strategy and it works really well. You could use something like Life Orb or Safety Goggles if you want, or even a Berry maybe defensively, but I like weakness policy. Weakness policy Dynamax's Pokemon is crazy. It's very crazy. So, as far as our moves go, Draco Meteor, Sludge Bomb, Thunderbolt, Protect is our set. I think it's pretty solid, dual stab, protect, and then one move of choice being Thunderbolt so that we can stop Amoonguss from keeping us asleep, which is very good. You open up against, an Amoonguss, you turn 1, you go for a max Thunder, max Lightning, make it so you can't sleep. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So, other than that, there are a couple of other options. It has a couple of good coverage moves, things like Hydro Pump, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast, but honestly, none of those seem nearly as good as the move set that we have. But, if you need to hit that certain coverage on your team, like you don't have any Water-type Pokemon on your team and you need Hydro Pump on this, then, go for it. We also do have Dragon Pulse and Thunder as different options for your stab moves. Or not really Thunder for stab, but Dragon Pulse instead of Draco Meteor, you're taking a little bit of a hit on your max move damage, but, then you don't have to -2 yourself when you're not big. But we're weakness policy, so if you get rid of the -2 once, and then you're good. Also, Max Ooze, you're going to be going plus 3, plus 4, typically with this Pokemon, so it's pretty good. This Pokemon Dynamaxes, and it's great. All of its stab moves for Dynamaxing are great. Max Ooze, giving yourself +1 special attack, as well as your partner Pokemon that may or may not get a lot of benefit off of that. And then we also have Draco Meteor, which becomes Max Wormwind, which is essentially an Intimidate. So it's very, very strong. All of these are really great moves. As good. Let's talk about some stats. So as far as the EV spread for this Pokemon goes, I went very basic, just 252 into HP, 252 plus into special attack, and then the leftover 4 into defense. I just wanted to be, fairly bulky, we're going to be Dynamaxing this Pokemon, so I wanted to invest into HP, and then also just making it do as much damage as possible with 252 plus special attack. We went with Quiet Nature so that we're plus special attack and minus speed, so we can be as slow as possible for maximum Trick Room benefit. That also entails we put in 0 IVs for speed, so yeah, it's good. That's about it for the VGC set. Honestly, not much more to cover, so let's go ahead and talk about these two synergetic Pokemon I have listed here real quick. So Dusclops, I already talked about for, a lot of the video. Trick Room and then Bulldoze. It's pretty much the main strat that you'll see with Dragalge. Almost every time that you see Dragalge, it'll be paired with a Trick Room and Bulldoze user, which there are multiple of, but I like Dusclops the most because it offers so much bulk. It's very, very good. And then even if you get taunted, you still have Bulldoze, which is pretty cool. You also have Nightshade, and you have a lot of tools with this Pokemon, and it makes a lot of sense to use Dusclops. Next, we have Rillaboom. Now, Rillaboom is pretty cool for this Pokemon, especially since it helps beat Psy Spam, which is a big, scare for Dragalge. Dragalge wants to be in Trick Room, and so does Psy Spam, so, yeah. You kind of want Rillaboom for that matchup. It's very, very good. It also, has superpower to hit things like Lapras for super effective damage, which is very good and kind of poses a threat to this Pokemon. We also have, it's just good. It's a good Pokemon. I like it a lot. Dragalge plus Dusclops and then some, good Pokemon to always bring in the back, like Rillaboom, works really well. Anyway, that is going to be it for the build. Let's go ahead and move on to some speed tiers. So as far as speed tiers go, we're sitting here at 44, which is pretty good. It's a lot faster, or it's not a lot faster, but it is a little bit faster than most common Trick Room sweepers, which is unfortunate. We are outspeeding Hatterene, which is probably the scariest Pokemon for this Pokemon, or at least one of the scariest. We also do get outsped by things like Rhyperior, Gastron, Dusclops, Torkoal, Ferrothorn, which is unfortunate after Trick Room is set, of course. So if you're up against a hard Trick Room team, you just don't want Trick Room active, and then you just sweep without Trick Room. It makes sense, although then you're going to have Dusclops hit Bulldoze the turn after, so maybe wanting to, lead Dusclops on something else, and then switch in for a Bulldoze when you think you're going to take a resisted attack. So that's definitely a good way to position Dragalge in the hard Trick Room matchups, since they're all kind of faster than you once Trick Room is set up. Although, to be fair, Rhyperior and Gastron are trending down a lot because of Rillaboom, so you're probably not going to be seeing those Pokemon very, very frequently. Next, we do have a couple of things that do outspeed us initially, but then we outspeed after Trick Room is set. Things like Conkeldurr, Snorlax, Gothitelle, things like that, but not limited to those. Also, all those Pokemon can have more speed as well. We see Snorlax with a little bit of speed. We also see Snorlax with 0 speed, min speed, and then it'll be under us. So all of these Pokemon will sometimes be slower than you, except Conkeldurr and Gothitelle. Really just Snorlax. But, it is what it is. Anyway, that is about it for speed tiers. Not much more to talk about there, so let's go ahead and move on to damage calcs. As far as damage calcs go, this is where this Pokemon thrives. We do have all of them featuring weakness policy for our offensive calcs, but still pretty good. Alright, so I like to start this off with these kind of Pokemon with showing the weakness policy proc move. Bulldoze from Dusclops into our boy. This is actually Dynamax. Whoops. Always forget one thing. I don't even do it on purpose, it just happens. Anyway, into Dynamax Dragalge, hitting 8 to 9%, which is very, very low. Possibly the worst move ever. I love to see that when you look at these calcs. Possibly the worst move ever into your own Pokemon. Makes sense. 8 to 10% is pretty worth +2 special attack for the rest of the game. Pretty good. Alright, so let's talk about some offensive calcs. So, +2 from our boy. +2 special attack, adaptability, +2 from weakness policy, max ooze, into Assault Vest Rillaboom, yes, Assault Vest, and 252 HP. We are hitting 158, 180 to 187.4%, which gives us room for them to even have some special defense, special defense investment. We are still taking that Oko, guaranteed, like every time. Now, if it Dynamaxes and has Assault Vest, then we have to worry about it a little bit more, but we don't really have to worry about that Pokemon in general, because it doesn't really hit us for anything, so there's no point in it Dynamaxing, so you pretty much just kill Rillaboom, which is pretty good. Next, we have +2 special attacking, adaptability, max ooze, into a defensive Togekiss, 236 HP and 12 special defense. It's just the suggested spread, but still. This is actually non-Dynamax, so we are hitting 170 to 202, which is a lot of percentage. Guaranteed Oko against it. It's pretty good. Now, if it is a Dynamax offensive Togekiss, 4 HP, 0 defense, because, it's all into speed and special attack, we are hitting 101 to 120 into the Dynamax non-defensive Togekiss, which is a very good calc. Once again, we have a great matchup against Togekiss, which is one of the most used Pokemon. So is Rillaboom and so is Dragapult. speaking of Dragapult, if we are attacking into a Dragapult with Max Wormwind, we are hitting 220% into 259% into a Dynamax Dragapult. That means even if it's not Dynamax, we are hitting 109 to 130%, which is guaranteed OHKO no matter what into Dragapult, which is great. An amazing calc to have. Now, this is a matchup where you need Trick Room to be set because that Pokemon also hits you very hard with Max Wormwind, potentially taking you out, since you have pretty low HP and mediocre defense. And when I say mediocre, it's actually above average, but still not great. Next, we have our one defensive calc here. Special attacking Life Orb, 252 plus Max Quake from a Venusaur into our Dragalge at 252 HP. We are only taking 43 to 51%. Now, this shows off our amazing special defense as well as our Dynamax with investment. We are only taking 43 to 51, which is a small percentage to even 2-hit KO us, which is very, very good. Although, you know, if we hit Bulldoze on our Pokemon, then, you know, it's going to be a 2-hit KO. But still, pretty good. And also, we probably just take out Venusaur. Like, it's a good matchup in general. So, you know, like, Sun is a pretty solid matchup. Torkoal's not doing much to you. We're not too worried. It's a good matchup. Anyway, that is going to be it for our damage calcs. Let's move on to Single Spotlight real quick before I end the video. So, Single Spotlight, not much to be said for this Pokemon. It is a little good. Like, it is pretty good. You know, adaptability is strong. We matched it with choice specs. So, you're just hitting a lot of damage off Draco Meteor and Sludge Wave. But it's not the best. We also do have Flip Turn, which is U-turn essentially, but it is physical, which is unfortunate. It's also water typing, so we don't get stab or choice specs. So Flip Turn is really there if, you know, you lead this Pokemon, it's a bad place, you just Flip Turn out. It's pretty good. Now, we also did feature Toxic Spikes on this Pokemon. You can Toxic Spikes, but then you have to switch out because of choice specs. So maybe choice specs isn't optimal. You never know. You could go with something like Black Sludge. You could go with a Berry. Yeah. This Pokemon is definitely better in VGC in my opinion because you can just use its Procket's Weakness Policy and make it really, really offensive. Otherwise, you kind of have to just like use 2x Stab, which is good, but not as good as 2x Stab plus, you know, immediately Weakness Policy. So it's good. Anyway, that is going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you are still here and enjoyed, then leave a like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to me. You know, join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, do all of that, you know, stuff. It makes a big difference. I think Dragalge is a really cool Pokemon, and I've been using it a lot, actually, in VGC on Ranked, and I like it a lot. Bulldoze, you know, like Dusclops, Dragalge, it's been really, really strong, and I actually do have a video of that, and I'll go ahead and show off a little card right there in the top right if you want to go and watch that video. It was pretty cool. We had a good time. It was a weird Blastoise team as well, and Blastoise really let me down, but Dragalge was the star of the show, and it worked really well. Anyway, that is going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of the month, and goodbye.